Hi Brian, how you doing? Okay, I was reading your writing. Where did it go? Here it is right here. Okay. Explaining your emphasis, that's great. Increase the tracking for the bigger words in order to emphasize them even more. Also want for a cool color scheme that would leave overall mood. Relax with two major contrasting words. Okay, good. Good descriptions here. Okay, I think you've got a pretty good, very safe layout here. There's a couple of things I would recommend. Right here, this and some are not on the same baseline. So you definitely, that's the first thing I noticed. I would also recommend turning off the grid in the background. That'll give the type of more symbiotic relationship with the actual gradient, that radial gradient in the background. And I think it will be less confining. So definitely do that. I think you've done a good job. Really, it's a good composition. Now, one thing I would recommend moving forward is this. Now, beginning typography, beginning design students always find it extremely difficult to break away from center aligning type. And you're going to see that in this discussion board. You're going to see many center aligned compositions with type. What I would like you to do moving into your final composition, there's no right or wrong here. As long as you have a relatively good sense of alignment, as was covered in the instructional video for this assignment, and you're conscientious about placement and alignment as well as emphasis, I think you're going to be safe. But what I would like you to do is I would like you to, for your final submission, I'd like you to do anything other than center aligned type, okay? Let's go jump over to the example and you'll see what I mean. This is an interesting little composition here, and note that it's not center aligned. The scale differences are pretty intense. I think that ampersand really makes a really interesting portion of the composition, providing a nice focal point and also providing a nice roadmap through the composition itself. Note that it's all right aligned, and note the differences in the typefaces and the way that they work with each other. So the reason I'm bringing this up is, as I said, there's not going to be any right or wrong here, okay? But I want you to really experiment in your final submission with something other than center aligned type. Just think about this composition as shapes, just as a series of shapes, okay? And then one of the kind of neat things you can do here is actually create shapes. These are rectangles, rectangle, and try to assemble them the way that we did the assignments in assignment 1 in weeks 1, 2, and 3. And you'll really see some interesting ways to look at composition based on you building that composition with type and looking at type as form, as a design element, as a shape, as opposed to a series of letters, okay? And I think you're going to come up with some really interesting things, as long as you're conscientious of typographic alignment and conscientious of hierarchy and emphasis. I think you'll be just fine. But I would love to see something other than a center aligned composition, okay? If you have any questions at all, please feel free to let me know, and I will be glad to address those questions. Thank you very much.